Everyone. Welcome to another episode of FB Live hosted by Craftspace. My name is Joey. I am a craft instructor from Craftspace. Today we are very privileged to be collaborating with the Food Purveyor, which consists of retail um, like Village Grocer, Ben's Independent Grocer, as well as OSK. Is it OSK or OTK? Check. Yeah. So today we are going to do a very fun activity. At the same time, we are going to talk a little bit about National Recycling Day, which is celebrated on the 11th of November of every year, right? So we are going to go through a little bit about the history of National Recycling Day. At the same time, we are also going to do a very simple as well as a very interesting craft. And then we are going to have some quizzes, yeah, to see whether you all have learned a thing or two. And then I am going to announce a contest which is hosted by the Food Purveyor, Village Grocer, as well as Ben's Independent Grocer. Yeah. So please stay tuned until the end of the session because there are so much activity that is going to happen today. All right. So first and foremost, National Recycling Day. Yeah. Like I mentioned, it is actually celebrated on the 11th of November. Now, generally, in other countries, it may be a different day. Like, for example, if I remember correctly, in US, it is celebrated on the 15th of November. Now, this week, on the 8th, from the 8th until the 15th of November, it is actually considered a National Recycling Week. Yeah, so you can actually celebrate it on a different day depending on different countries, right? So this is the only day recognized, yeah, and also dedicated to encouraging people to recycle and buy recycled products. So not just about recycling, it's also about how you can actually contribute by not buying virgin products. Virgin products means those products that is first-hand use. Yeah, recycled products means it's second-hand or pre-loved, as what we call them, right? So in Malaysia, Ministry of Housing and Local Government actually manages all these recycling days. Yeah, so they actually launched this day in Malaysia in 2001. Yeah, at Bukit Jalil, Kuala Lumpur. So that was the first year that we actually celebrate National Recycling Day. It's different from Global Recycling Day. Global Recycling Day is on the 18th of March every year. All right, so why is recycling important? Now, of course, we have mentioned it many times. Recycling is important because it actually helps to ensure that our planet remains healthy, right? So there are many reasons, yeah, and benefits to recycling, which include reducing landfill waste, conserve natural resources such as the sea, the forest, wildlife, animals, yeah, helps lessen the burning of fossil fuels, yeah, fossil fuels, which can decrease the emission of greenhouse gas. So those are the three main reasons, yeah, why it is important to recycle. Now, a little bit of statistics. Malaysians actually generate around 38,699 tons of solid waste every day. At least that is like 1.17 kilogram per person. So imagine how many people are in Malaysia times that number. Yeah, so that is a lot of waste. Yeah, so the amount of solid waste is expected to continue to increase, yeah, as our population grows. So more people, more waste. Simple as that. Okay. So it is quite a huge concern because Malaysia has the highest annual per capita plastic use, especially in Southeast Asia, at 16.78 kilogram per person, based on 2019 study by the Worldwide Fund for Nature, yeah, which means that we are number one for a wrong reason again. Okay, followed by Thailand, which is 15.52 kilogram, Vietnam 12.93 kilogram, Indonesia 12.5 kilogram, and the Philippines 12.4 kilogram. So even when we are number one, so we are quite a huge gap, yeah, between us and Thailand. So that is the reason why, the reason we need to do a proper recycling. Yeah. So in 2020, which is last year, Malaysia recorded recycling rate of 30.67%. Now we have a target based on the 12th Malaysia plan to achieve a recycling rate of 40% by the year 2025, which means in another 4 more years. Yeah, 4 more years. So from 30.67 to 40%. Well, you may say that it's a very small number, but it is tough, yeah, if we do not play a part together. So that is the reason why we need to, each one of us, yeah, have to really do our part and make sure that we achieve the number, right? So some of the most common type of plastic waste. Now we are talking about what are the wastes that is available, and also what are the more common ones, so that we are aware, then we know how to recycle them properly. Okay, so the most common type of plastic waste found in landfills is a clear film type of plastic known as the LDPE, yeah, which is widely used to make items like grocery bags, those plastic bags, yeah, plastic wrapping, and packaging materials. So those are the most common type of plastic that is found in the landfill, right? Followed by other types of plastic waste, rigid plastics like PVC and polystyrene. Okay, PVC is normally used for things like pipes, while foam plastic like polystyrene can be used into can be made into boxes or disposable eating utensils. If I remember correctly, we have already banned polystyrene usage in food industry, yeah, because of it is very hazardous to our health, yeah. So that is a little bit of information about plastic waste, right? In Malaysia, we plan to achieve zero single-use plastic by 2030. We have mentioned this several times throughout our FB Live as well. So 2030 is just about 9 more years, at the rate of 30.67%. That's huge work to be done. So please make sure that we ourselves, we have to, set a very good example, and also to educate our next generation or our kids to recycle properly, right? So what to observe? First thing first, what to observe when you purchase or make any purchases. If let's say you need to purchase something which is packaged or stored in plastic, so what are the numbers that we should look at now? Every plastic, they have a tiny triangle, okay, at the back of your packaging, yeah. So there is a tiny triangle with a number in it. So that is the number that we need to really understand and know, so that we know what to do with them when we see this number, okay. So now these are the numbers that you should take note, yeah. Number 2, number 4, number 5. So there's a tiny triangle with numbers in at the bottom of your plastic, yeah. So number 2, number 4, number 5, those are plastic that can be reused. Now we are going to talk a little bit about what is reused, okay. So 2, 4, 5, remember this number. Numbers to avoid is number 6. Okay, and numbers that cannot be reused means you need to quickly, you can only use it one time. Okay, those are single-use plastic. Okay, so those numbers that cannot be reused is number 1, number 3, and number 7. Number 1 is PETE, number 3 is PVC, number 7 is categorized as others. Okay, all right, so I repeat, plastic that can be reused, 2, 4, and 5. To avoid completely, number 6. Okay, cannot be reused, which means it's single-use plastic is number 1, number 3, and number 7. Right? Now, plastics that can be sent for recycling is number 1, number 2, and number 5. Okay, number 1 is PETE, number 2 is HDPE, and number 5 is PP. Okay, now why only these 3 numbers for now is because the recycling center, they only concentrate on recycling plastics that are easily retrievable and has high value. Okay, so like for example, those PET bottles, can I have one sample? Yeah, let's have a check. Yeah, these bottles, these type of bottles, yeah, so it's easily recyclable, retrievable. At the same time, it holds high value. Yeah, okay. Low quality plastics are rarely recycled. Mainly like those food packaging materials and single-use plastics. Yeah, because they do not have a lot of, they do not have high values to recycle them, right? And worst of all, if let's say it is contaminated with oil, yeah, or oil stain, like most food packaging, then you cannot recycle at all. So it can only be treated as waste, right? Number 6, mainly to avoid, yeah, number 6 is actually, I'm not sure about now, but last time it used to be those egg cartons, plastic egg cartons. Those are categorized as number 6. So that's why we, in one of the sessions of the FB Live, we have also recommended to use those paper cartons. Yeah, buy those eggs from that is stored in paper cartons rather than plastic cartons. Yeah, all right. So now there are also some how would I put it? Knowledge. Yeah, you need to have a little bit of knowledge on how to do a proper recycling before you actually throw your bottles or whatnot into the recycling bin, right? So first and foremost, if let's say we are talking about plastic or any other materials, because some materials they have mixed, some products, yeah, they have mixed materials, yeah, like metal and plastic. So you need to really separate it before you send them for recycling, right? Some for plastic, a bottle in particular, okay? So what you need to do is you need to remove the caps, for example, from the bottles. You need to remove the labels. Depends whether it is plastic label or paper ones, yeah? So if paper, then you have to recycle it into the paper bin, yeah? So plastic, you can actually recycle in the plastic bin. And then you need to wash them. So those, like for example, if you buy canned drink, for example, yeah, you can't just recycle the can straight away. Yeah, you need to wash them, dry them, then only you can recycle. So it is not just about, you know, oh, okay, I segregate all my waste into different bags, so then straight away you can send to recycling center. No. Same thing for all your plastic materials. If you need to send to recycle, you need to make sure you separate them. You need to make sure you wash thoroughly and clean and dry them, yeah, before you pack them up for recycling. right? So it is a very, I wouldn't say it's a very complicated process, but that are the proper ways to recycle. Yeah. Okay. So that is a little bit about the plastic waste. Now we also talk about clinical waste. Yeah, clinical waste has been, I would say, increased since the beginning of the pandemic. Yeah. What are clinical waste? Those are used test swabs, personal protective equipment (PPE), and other items from hospitals, clinics, and quarantine centers. Now in Malaysia, which has increased, yeah, due to the pandemic since March 2020. So as of September 30 last year, we have seen 3,576 tons of COVID-19 related waste being produced nationwide. So apart from the normal solid waste, now we have a bigger problem because we have all these unavoidable clinical waste. Plus, we have even more waste now because we are required to wear face masks every single day. Yeah, so that is the reason why we need to really take care of what we buy, at the same time of the materials that we have or we found at home that can send for recycling, or we can reuse it or repurpose them. Okay? Right. So, what are we doing today? Yeah, we are going to do a travel size game because now cross-border traveling is allowed. Yeah, interstate traveling is allowed. So I am pretty sure that you all are already going out and for cuti Malaysia. So now, if let's say you are traveling long distance, for example, and you do not want your kids to be bored sitting in the car, what you can do is you can create some games so that they can actually play with their siblings or with whoever who is not driving. All right. So today we are going to use some food packaging and also recyclable materials to make a tic-tac-toe, a travel size tic-tac-toe, so that you can play with. Okay. Of course, it is not limited to just tic-tac-toe. You can actually do a lot more of these travel size games. Yeah, which we can share with you later on, right? So what we have or what we need, of course, a packaging with cover if you have. Best to have the one with cover. Of course, if let's say you do not have, then it's fine. So you need to have this base, yeah, that looks like a box, right? So this is one thing. If you have this type also can. All you need to do is you can cut off one side and then stick the other parts together so that the top part can be open and closed. All right. So this is what you can do. Okay, you just wrap or stick all these parts together, and then only cut here, so that you can open and close. Right. And then after that, we need, if you have straws, okay, long straws will do. Okay, we have a lot of recycled straws from past events. So today we are going to make sure that we use all this rather than we keep or throw. Okay, if not, then you can use skewers or chopsticks. Okay, so you can use those disposable chopsticks. Now, I'm pretty sure nowadays you will have a lot of all this because why? We take a lot of we order a lot of takeout food as well as deliveries. Yeah, due to the pandemic. Yeah, we also see increased in food packaging as well. Now, in terms of food packaging, yeah, when you want to do this, make sure you actually clean them first. Okay, clean them first. Now, how do you clean paper products? You don't wash them, of course. You just use a wet towel and then wipe clean. Now, I wouldn't recommend you to use those from those tapao food one, yeah, or takeout food, because those are very oily. Okay. Now, what you can do with those packaging, if it is papered products, if let's say you go and order takeout or order delivery, if they come in those papered products, you cannot send for recycling, but you can turn them into compost. Yeah, pizza box, for example, is a very good source of compost or fertilizer. You can actually use them, yeah, to fertilize your plants, right? So these are some of the materials, and then of course we will need hot glue gun or Yoo-hoo glue, and then we need bottle caps. Okay, so we will need at least if you have 9 or 10, it will be great. Yeah, so we will need bottle caps. And then if let's say you do not have bottle caps, what can you do? You get those thick cardboard, the thick type of cardboard, so that you can actually make shapes. Yeah, okay, so first and foremost, we will take the box, and then we need to do grids. Yeah, we need to do 9 3 by 3 boxes inside this. Okay, so to make it into something like this, I will just show you quickly. This is what we did last time with felt. This is also travel size. Okay, so we need to make grids 3 by 3, right? So here what we do is all these grids, right? We will use either a skewer, chopsticks, or we use straws. Any types of straws will do, not the metal type though. Okay, all right, so we need to divide them equally so that you can have the equal size square or rectangle. Okay, so we will put in our we will stick the straw in using our hot glue gun or Yoo-hoo glue. Okay, so that is the first step. So what we do, we will divide them into 3 parts. Let me just quickly draw the line, and then after that I am going to stick it on. Okay. Right, so let me just stick it on, and then after that I'm going to show you. Now, what happens if let's say you have all this, but then it is a little bit oily, for example? You can actually stick a layer of paper onto it after you clean them, okay, so that you can repurpose them. Okay, so now I have put the indication where I want to put my straws. Okay, so we are going to continue to do this part first, so that we have 3 parts. Okay, top, medium, middle part, and also the bottom part. All right, so let's continue to stick it on. Okay, and then let's put on the other part as well. Now, of course, it is, if you have a long straw, it is handy, yeah, but we don't, and I have no intention to get new straws just for the the craft. So that is why we are going to take a little bit longer time to find the pieces to stick it together. Okay. All right. Can I have a scissors? Pair of scissors? Yeah. Right. Okay. So let's cut this a little bit off so that we can fit it in. All right. Okay, so one part is done. And then we are going to continue sticking on the other part here. Okay. So let's find similar colors one so that it looks nicer. Of course, if let's say you are using skewer as well as or chopsticks, you need to cut them out in pieces, yeah, and make sure that you ask help from your mommy or daddy to help you with the cutting part because it may be difficult to cut it. Right. Okay, so second part is done. You can see. So now we are going to divide the row, the column, yeah, the column. So rows are done. So now we need the column. Okay. So we will try to find the longer ones. And then after that, I am going to divide them again. Right. Okay, so there's one. And two. Right? So that we have 3 columns. Right? Then after that, we will continue. And then we will just do this until the end of the box. Find a small one so that we can fit it in. All right. So this one, if let's say the box itself, if you want to paint it, you can do so as well, yeah. So that it makes it look nicer. That is why in the material list that I sent to all of you, I have also put it down there as an option. If let's say you need to paint it. Alternatively, if let's say you want to decorate it, you can wrap it with the magazines or those recycled wrappers from birthday parties. Coming soon, it will be like Christmas. I'm not sure whether you have received anything from Halloween. Yeah, Halloween goodie bags, yeah, or goodies. You can use them too. Okay. So let me find all the blue color ones. I need to make sure that it's same color to make it nicer. Right. Now, recycling is never easy, to be very honest. Even I myself, we find it hard at times to really do a proper recycling. But that doesn't mean that we should just avoid doing it. Yeah, all we need to do is we need to start. That is the first step. We need to start somewhere, and of course we also need to make sure that we have someone to do it together. Then it is more exciting in that sense. Yeah, because you have a common topic to talk about. Recycling is not just happening in the household. It can also happen in the office. Yeah, so feel free to share with us on ideas how you can actually recycle in the office. Yeah, now when we talk about recycling, not just about plastic waste, it's also about paper waste, or metal, aluminium, and fabric waste, which we talked about last week. Yeah, so there are a lot of different types of materials that we can actually use for recycling. So one part is done. So now we are going to continue with the final part. Long process, but it's getting there. All right, so let's stick this together. Because my straws are very small, because we use this as one of the materials, recyclable materials as well, for one of the recycling campaign that we did, I think 2-3 years back, pre-pandemic. That is how long these straws has been sitting in our storeroom. And we have no idea. Sometimes we got stuck as we do not know what else we can use apart from, disposing. So it is a good opportunity for us to recycle or repurpose them now. Yeah. All right, so one part is done. We proceed to the next part. Okay, so while you continue to do this, let's not forget that while you celebrate 11/11, which is like 2 days ago, I'm pretty sure you all celebrate 11/11 because everyone around the world celebrates 11/11, yeah, Singles Day. So remember, from next year onwards, on the 11/11, we do not just celebrate Singles Day, we also celebrate National Recycling Day. One more thing to remember. And best and most importantly, and it's also a great opportunity for you to really think before you buy, because there are a lot of impulse purchases on 11/11. Why? If let's say you were to go to any courier service companies, now it is packed with products. And if you see the materials that they use to pack the products, when I went in there, and I was like, oh my goodness, more plastic waste. It is sad. Malaysia, unfortunately, at this point of time, when it comes to packaging, yeah, most of us are still using plastic packaging, yeah, because it is cheap. So from plastic materials like those courier bags or bubble wrap, or everything is plastics. For us, we have tried to do a little bit better by packing our products in paper materials. If let's say for those of you who have purchased our products before, or our DIY kits, you know that we send you in boxes, yeah. We don't send in plastic materials or plastic packaging. So that is our part in encouraging our students or our younger generation to really take care of or repurpose or recycle, yeah, and use less of plastic products. All right, so I'm almost done. Hopefully you are. Okay. So this is the most difficult part. Actually, it's not difficult. It's just that because my straws are all in pieces, tiny, tiny pieces. So we have 9. For me, it's 9 rectangles. Yeah, but for you, it could be 9, 9 nice squares. Yeah. Okay. So squares like this. Right. So this is travel size. I am going to make a little bit more by covering this because there is holes in this. Yeah, these are hollow and there's holes. So I am going to take a plastic sheet and stick it over so that I can store things inside, right? So plastic sheets, I am pretty sure if let's say you buy products and if let's say they comes with packaging with windows, you can find those, yeah, from the plastic sheets. So what you do is you tear it off because if let's say, for example, if you want to recycle this, you have to tear this out because this is paper and this is plastic. So they go into different bins, yeah. So make sure you take it out. So while you take it out, might as well you repurpose or repurpose them before you send them for recycling, right? Okay, so we tear it out, and then after that we are going to stick it here, just nice, right? And then we are going to cut off parts that is a little bit excess. Okay, so cut off. And then after that, we just hot glue them like this. Okay, so we put glue. Putting glue on plastic, it melts them, so be careful when you do this. Right, and then after that, we are going to put a little bit more. There you go. All right. So now it has a pocket or a window so that you can see what is inside. Okay, you can see what is inside. So the box is done. So you can actually use this. And of course, if let's say you want to paint the outside part, feel free to do so. Okay, or you can wrap it with colored papers or those recycled present wrappers. Okay, don't buy new ones, yeah, because after all, the purpose is to repurpose or recycle. All right. All right. So that part is done. Next thing, we need to make the pieces inside for the tic-tac-toe. All right. So that is the reason why we need bottle caps, so that it's easier for the kids to move the pieces together or to move the pieces. So usually what we do is we will do, of course, we need 2 designs. Yeah, and each design we will need 5 pieces or 6. If you can make more, just in case, if let's say, you know, you need it as spares. Yeah, so 5 is the minimum, 6 is the best, right? If let's say you do not have enough bottle caps, what you can do, again, thick cardboard, and then after that you can actually draw the shapes out. All right, so what type of shapes that you can draw? Any shapes that you want. Here we have, like for example, we have rocket, we have flowers, we even have turtle. Okay, we even have turtle. Okay, and let's see what else. Teddy bear. Okay, or if let's say you have those puncher, that can cut thick materials, you can use them and punch out as well. It's much easier. Alternatively, you can actually paint the cap and then draw what you want on top. But make sure 2 designs, each design you need 5 to 6 pieces. Okay, so that is how you can have options. Yeah, if of course you can have more if you want. You can have even as many designs as you want, so that you can actually choose. Yeah, because kids sometimes say, oh, today I'm bored with flowers, I want something else. Okay, so you can choose. So just remember that every design you need 5 minimum. 6, 7, 8 is good. That is for in case some of the pieces lost. Okay. Now, what else can you make for travel size? Of course, there are many other examples. Yeah. Of course, we can say, it's so difficult to make. Might as well just buy. Yeah, but yes, buying is good, but that is whether a need or a want. If let's say you can make it, then it serves more purpose, and at the same time you can also do your part in the 5R principles. Okay, so what we have done previously, first and foremost, of course, we did tic-tac-toe. We even did checkers. Yeah, we keep it in the bags so that it's easier. But of course, if let's say you do it in a box, you can store all your pieces together in a box like this, so it is much easier. And best of all, if let's say your box has window, then it won't drop and you can see from the outside what is inside. Okay, you can also label them. Okay, if let's say you want, you can label them anywhere on the box and say that this is tic-tac-toe. Okay, you can actually, if let's say your box is big enough, like if you, let's say you have pizza box, you can actually do checkers. Yeah, we did checkers with unique designs for the pieces as well. Yeah, we have different designs, but make sure that it is small enough to fit in, otherwise that it will spill over to the next squares. Right, so checkers, this is also fun, simple and fun. Of course, you have snakes and ladder. That one is a little bit more difficult to make. Yeah, Scrabbles, those are quite difficult. 10 grams, for example, you can make, is quite easy. Yeah, so let's just show what is 10 gram. 10 gram is consists of 7 pieces. So you will have 5 triangles, different sizes, and then 1 square, and then 1, I'm not sure what is this shape called. It's like a diamond shape, but it's not exactly a diamond shape. Parallelogram. Okay, confusing name. It's a long name. Okay, but this is the shape. So we have 7 pieces, and this is fun. Now when we make this, we actually use magnetic sheet. Yeah, but you can also use cardboard, thick cardboard as well. And this is fun because it actually helps the kids to assemble the pieces together to make it into a design or a shape, like animal. You know, there are many ways to actually assemble it. So it depends on how you do it. So this is fun as well. Yeah. These are some of the games that we used to play, but I don't think kids nowadays know how to play all these games. Yeah, they are not exposed to all this, which is sad, because these are a very simple games that actually can stimulate their thinking, yeah, creative thinking, because they need to use only 7 pieces of these shapes to make a house, make cupcakes, you know. So they need to really be very creative and solve this, what we so call as puzzle piece together. But nowadays, I don't think they even know what is 10 gram, right? So yeah. And we don't throw away all our Ziploc bags. We repurpose them for storage, right? So basically, that is all about some of the games that you can do. Yeah, a travel size one, so that you can actually put it into the food packaging, or those box packaging like this. Okay, I'm pretty sure you will receive more, because festive season is coming soon as well. Right? We see surge in food, or even all these recyclable materials, especially at the fourth quarter of the year, and also the first quarter. Yeah, because of all these festive seasons. So that is why more reason we need to repurpose them. All right. Now, one person's effort is never enough, like I mentioned. We need to have everyone to play a role together, so that we can achieve the numbers quicker. All right. So these are some of the 10 ideas what you can do to set a new recycling goal, yeah, for this year. Then by next year, if we are still meeting up like this, then we can actually share our achievements. All right. So first and foremost, of course, the first ideas, yeah, the first idea, what you can do is find out if carton recycling is available in your area. Now, when we talk about carton recycling, right? What is carton recycling? Now, carton recycling, there are two types. Okay, it is actually, there are two. We actually come across those, and we usually will buy them as well. All right. So carton recycling, cartons are referring to those shelf-stable cartons. Okay, what does it mean? It means that it is actually made from mostly paper, but some plastic and a thin layer of aluminum are added to help the food inside stay fresh for a longer period of time. So these are what we commonly found on stores or supermarket shelves, yeah, for products like juice, yeah, milk, right? Because if let's say you want to recycle milk carton, it's neither here nor there, because you have the plastic, and then you have the paper, and inside you have the aluminum. So it is actually basically for milk carton, right? It is not recyclable. Yeah, it's not recyclable, right? So, but there are some centers that actually accept all those for recycling. So you need to find out. So please make sure when you throw your milk cartons or those juice boxes, make sure you don't throw it into the paper area, or don't throw it into the plastic area. You need to check with your local recycling center whether they receive or accept all those or not. And even though if let's say you want to recycle them, you need to make sure you wash them clean and dry them before you flatten them and pack it into the proper packaging before you send it to the recycling center. Okay, now the second type of carton is those that can be found in freezer or chillers in the store. All right, what are those? Again, like milk carton, because milk carton, some of them they can actually put it normal shelf, and some of them are actually in the chiller section. So those also is considered. Okay, cream, for example, some cream, those like cream cheese, yeah, those are also considered as milk, the carton, okay? So those you need to check whether it is recyclable or not, okay? Now, second idea is stop throwing away your clothes or household textile. Now, textile here not limited to only clothes, yeah? Cloths, towels, curtains, sofa covers, yeah? So those are considered under category of textile, right? So what you can do is, of course, if let's say you think that your clothes, for example, are still quite new and you do not want to repurpose them, consider donating them, okay, or send them to those pre-loved stores. Yeah. Yes, there's a question from Miku.
Miku asks, how about styrofoam? Our Sunday recycling pickup doesn't accept styrofoam.
Yeah. So styrofoam is actually is a material that has very low value. Okay. So certain recycling center does not accept it. Now what you can do is you need to find out from other recycling centers, because there are different types of recycling centers in town as well. Some that accept certain items, some they don't. So what you can do is go through or try to do a little bit of research and check. There are some recycling centers or the bigger organization, they can actually come and pick it up from your house. Those, they may accept it, but they will only come if let's say you have a lot. Yeah, they will not come if let's say you just have just a bit. So what you can do is combine all those and then ask them to come one shot, and it's easier. Okay. In fact, for oil, cooking oil, it can be, you can also send for recycling. Yeah, because there is an organization that actually can come to your house and pick up. So that is why you need to do a little bit of research on that. Different areas, of course, it has different pickup partners. Yeah. So if let's say you want, we just drop us a text via WhatsApp, then we can actually get the details for you, because we have done a little bit of research previously. Who can pick up what, like the oil, yeah. So we can also update you as well. Okay. Now, third idea, of course, it actually involves your kids, our kids, yeah, or our next generation. So what we do is we encourage them to recycle at school. Now that they are going back to school, I'm pretty sure that there will be a lot more physical materials that they will use, like papers. Yeah. So what can we do? Now, I wouldn't say the pandemic is bad, because there are some goods as well. Yeah, some good points. What we have seen is that teachers put in a lot of efforts into transforming physical classes into online, meaning that your homework is also done and submitted online. So if this is the case, when we attend school for the past 1.5 to 2 years, can we actually do the same when we go back to school? The answer is yes, whether we want or not. Okay, so of course there are a lot of efforts that need to be put in, yes, but we have been doing it for the past 2 years. It should has already been a new norm, right? And best of all, if let's say we can do that, means that we can actually cut down a lot of waste. Go paperless, all right? Because in schools, the biggest culprit is actually papers. Yeah, so go paperless. If let's say you really need to use paper, we need to consider recycling them and not just throw them just like that, right? If there is no need for us to print out, then do not print out. Simple as that, right? So This has a lot to do with communication with the school. Okay, talk to the principals, talk to the teachers or homeroom teachers. Yeah, or if let's say you have a parents teachers association or a group. Last time we used to call them PIBG, right? Yeah. So you can, set up a committee and then drive this initiative together, right? Fourth, of course, this has been mentioned many, many times. Okay, avoid plastic bags by bringing your own bag, or simply declining the bag when you can. So if you have excess plastic bags, for example, or dry cleaner bags or newspaper bags, okay, bring them when you go for your shopping trip. Okay, doesn't mean that when we say that you should avoid plastic bag, doesn't mean that you should start buying all those eco bags. If let's say you have plastic bags, existing plastic bags at home, you can reuse them. Okay, so please make sure you bring them along when you do your grocery shoppings. All right. So number 5, of course, you need to make sure that you become the advocator, right? Talk to your friends, your peers, your families, your relatives, yeah, and ask them to do together. Why? When you do together, then you have a common goal, right? It's easier for us to do it in a team rather than as an individual. It is more fun as well. And then you can actually recycle in a more effective way, because certain things that I may not need anymore, but you may need it. So we can exchange. Yeah. So that is one idea. The other idea is, of course, we talk about how to properly recycle. Yeah. Talk to your kids. Encourage them to do the same. Because as much as we as an adult, when we do, sometimes the kids do not understand why. Yeah. So it is important that they need to know as well. It is not just about papers, plastic, or aluminum. It is also about their clothes, their toys, their gadgets, right? So that is one thing that they need to understand as well. Yeah, and how they can actually repurpose or reuse them. Okay, because they grow up very fast. So clothes will outgrow them, toys will outgrow them. Okay, of course gadgets will not, but yeah, still it will go old-fashioned, yeah, or get old. So how do we recycle or repurpose them? So encourage them to make gifts, yeah, instead of buy gifts. Now we have not, I think we have mentioned this many, many times as well. When you want to make a gift, okay, or want to give someone something, a present, it is more meaningful if, let's say, you hand make them, right? So that is another thing. Okay, the next thing is more on within your community. What you can do is you can either host a recycling campaign in your community or your neighborhood, or you can join if, let's say, there's already one. Okay, join in. Okay, be a part, right? And most importantly, you need to get familiar with what you can or you can't recycle. Okay, now these are some of the ideas what you can and you can't recycle. Okay, pizza box, no, because it has oil stain, so you can't pack them for recycling. Like I mentioned, you can actually compost them and become fertilizer. Paper cups for beverages, hot beverages, for example, those are not recyclable. So do not throw them into recycle bin. Those are considered waste. All right. Anything with wax around the paper packaging, those are not recyclables. All right. Milk carton, not recyclable. Okay. Juice boxes, even though outer layer is paper, but inside there's a layer of aluminum, that one is not considered for recycling as well. Okay, so you need to know what can and what can't. So do a little bit of research on that if let's say you want to practice a proper recycling, right? And last but not least, you need to also understand that there are more items that you thought that cannot be recycled that actually can be recycled. Okay, now these are some of the common things that we forgot to recycle. So write it down if you have a piece of paper and pencil or a pen. Computers, yeah. So they have most recycling center or some organization, they actually have these take back programs whereby you can actually uh, recycle your computers, and then they will reward you with either a point or monetary reward. Yeah, so you can actually check. Cell phones and those tablets, it can be recycled. Yeah, just make sure that you wipe off all the personal data. Yeah, batteries, rechargeable batteries, those are recyclable. Yeah, if let's say you know those batteries are no longer in use, you can actually send for recycling. Okay, what else? Let me check. Cartridges, yeah, for printers. Cartridges for printers, those are recyclable. So you can send for recycling. Glass jars, of course. Anything glass jars, as long as you clean them and dry them and remove all the labels, that one can be recycled. And a lot of F&B industry players, right, they actually reward you for bringing back your own glass jars, yeah, for refill or when you buy products. So it is good to check them out. All right. Eyeglasses, this is one thing that I find it interesting because for a person like us, you know, when we change our glasses, we do not know what to do with our old ones. So now we know that it can be recycled. So all you need to do is you can check with your the shop that actually where you make your glasses and ask them where you can actually send for recycling. Okay. Shaving cream. But you need to watch out for the recycling symbol, because if let's say there is a recycling symbol, means that you can actually recycle them. Otherwise, then you can't. All right. Plastic silverware. That is one thing. But of course, usually for plastic silverware, you can reuse it for many, many times. Yeah, before you really need to recycle them. All right. Paper rolls or oatmeal canisters. Those are recyclable, but that one is, you need to check. Yeah, because some canisters, for example, again, those with aluminum inside. Yeah, so that one is considered carton. So you need to check whether they actually accept carton recycling. All right. Reusable food storage containers. Right, plastic shopping bags, of course. Packaging like for things like tissues, cosmetics, toothbrushes, Q-tips, and other hygienic products. Yeah, deodorant packaging. For those of you who use it, aluminum foil, only if it is clean. Also, screw top lids from bottles. Yeah, and trays. Aerosol cans can be recycled if they are empty, of course. All medications, but this one you need to check with the local pharmacy or law enforcement agency, because sometimes they will collect back all the old medication rather than you just throw away. All right. Okay, so those are the items that you can actually recycle, which we sometimes we don't, right? Now again, let me remind you, each town or each area, each states have their own recycling program. So you need to really understand the what can or cannot be recycled in your town or in your neighborhood, yeah, so that you can actually be more prepared or more informed of what, how, or how you can actually pack all your materials for recycling, right? So of course, the best is still, in order for us to reduce the waste, is by practicing the first 4 R's, all right, which is refuse, reduce, reuse, repurpose, before we send for recycling, right? The fifth R is recycle, right? So first and foremost, of course, we need to think whether we really need to use it or not. So that is refuse. Okay. Second, of course, if let's say it's unavoidable, then you reduce it. Now, when you have reduced it, that means you will have it already. Then see whether you can reuse it, right? So that is where it comes into the third R, which is reuse. Then after you reuse it for many times and it is getting old, that is where we repurpose them. What is repurpose? This is repurpose. So we make things out of their original purpose. So we repurpose, or what we call as upcycle. All right. So these are some of the things. All right. And then of course, the next thing is recycle, like what I mentioned just now, right? So these are the 5 R's. Okay, so a lot of information, and we are way past our time. So we will jump straight into the details for the contest. Remember, we have mentioned about the contest. So this contest is actually hosted by the food purveyor, which is the more familiar one will be, you know, the supermarkets like Village Grocer, as well as Ben's Independent Store, or Independence Grocer. Okay, so the objective of this contest is to encourage, yeah, our younger generation to take action into reducing waste and improve the efficiency of resource use, right? That is the reason why we are hosting this contest. What you are doing, not me, okay? What you are doing is, remember when we talk about handmade gift? Now this is where you will put your skill into test, right? Christmas is coming up very soon, yeah, which is in another probably about 5 weeks. So it is time for you to prepare a Christmas gift for someone you love, all right? So a Christmas gift using only recyclable materials. Now, when we talk about recyclable materials, it does not just involve the paper, plastic, or cardboard. It involves also your clothing or textile or fabric, toys. You can repurpose them, okay, to make something else. Now, we will not set limitation as to what you can use, but we will need you to let us know what material you use. If let's say you need to use wrappers, for example, make sure it is the recyclable ones, yeah? Do not purposely go and buy new ones and then use it, because that defeats the purpose. We want to make a gift that is zero cost as best as possible, okay? Zero cost. You can use paint, you can use hot glue gun, you can use, what else? You can use, apart from just plastic, papers, wrappers, fabrics, baskets, eco bags, if let's say those are old, yeah, and can't be reused anymore. So those are the things that you can use, okay? Now, when is the closing date? It will be 1 week from now, which is on the 20th of November. Okay, so the last day for you to submit all your entry is on the 20th of November. Now you can submit as many entries as you want, but in terms of prizes, you will only win once, okay, regardless of how many you submitted. Okay, so I will suggest that you submit one, the best one, all right? How you need to submit, okay? So this is where you submit it. You have to upload your masterpiece or your entry onto your Facebook page and hashtag TFPCS Recycling Contest. Okay, our admin is going to type it out on the comment section. Please write it down. Yeah. Alternatively, you can check out our post on Facebook tomorrow. We will put it up as well. But again, I will repeat the hashtag. Yeah, hashtag TFPCS Recycling Contest. And then you need to tag Village Grocer, okay, on their Facebook page at My Village Grocer or Ben's Independent Grocer at Ben's Independent Grocer, and also Craft Space at Craft Space MY. Okay, so admin, please make sure you type everything in the comment section so that you can write it down. Okay, now we have a lot of interesting prizes, yeah. So that is why we really encourage you to take part in it, and to also inculcate very, I would say, healthy habit for the kids to start, if let's say they have not, yeah, to start making their own gifts for their friends and families, right? It need not be expensive. Yeah, sometimes we overcomplicate things and we think that, you know, we need to buy very expensive gifts. No. Yeah, so that is why we put in this theme for you to make the gift, so that next month, after you participate in this contest, so next month you can give it away as a Christmas gift, right? So the prizes, right, sponsored by the food purveyor. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 5 prizes altogether. Oh no, 8 prizes altogether. Yeah, we have grand prize, consists of products and vouchers worth 100 ringgit, and then first runner up, products and vouchers worth 80 ringgit. Second runner up, products and vouchers worth 50 ringgit, and 5 consolation prizes worth 25 ringgit of products. Yeah, so you know, even their cooler bags and their eco bags are very good quality. I personally, I love to buy their eco bags because it is very good quality. So now that you have a chance to own them, please make sure you take that opportunity. Yeah, otherwise then you have to spend money to buy it. So it is not very difficult. All you need to do is prepare a gift using all things recyclable. Okay, we did not set any limitation of what type of materials that you need to use. No, you can use any type as long as it is recyclable materials, right? So I will look forward to all your masterpiece. Yeah, so please make sure you remember to tag us so that we can also have a look. By the way, Craft Space is privileged to be one of the judges. Yeah, so please make sure, of course I will not be the one because I may be biased, but our team will be one of the judges for this contest. So make sure that you submit your entries, right? With that, I hope you had fun and you have learned something about recycling and how you can actually kickstart if you have not. Yeah. Hopefully, we will be able to see a little bit more effort being put in by every individual so that we can actually increase our recycling rate in Malaysia. Now, Interestingly enough, while we are at 30.67%, Sweden is already at 100% recycling rate. How do they do it? Now, this is one thing that I hope that you can take home. Yeah, if any. Right, let me just find what I have found out from the internet. Now, Sweden has a waste management and recycling priorities. Yeah, so there are 5 areas that they always look at. First is prevention, which is refuse and reduce. So their motto is live simply. Okay, and then the second priority is reuse, which means is what the third R is. Okay, reuse, which also cover repurpose, upcycling, and use it for many times. Okay, the third one is recycle. Now, when it comes to recycling, it's often pre-sorted at home, as well as in the companies or in businesses, as we call them. Not just in offices, yeah, it's also from malls as well. So their retail centers actually play a large role into doing that and encouraging all their tenants to actually participate in this. Now, the fourth is, of course, recycling alternatives, which means they convert the waste into energy. Remember, we talked about waste to energy. Yeah, so certain countries are already doing it. So Sweden is very good in doing this. And lastly, landfill. Okay, less than 1% of remaining trash made it to the landfill, and that's all. Less than 1%. That is good practices that we should be adopting as well. Right. So again, it is not just the effort from the government or from NGOs, yeah. It is actually us as a consumer, because we dictate. Remember, we dictate what the retailers or the industry players or the manufacturers, how they need to package their products. Yeah. So if, let's say, we refuse to buy them, which means they need to change their packaging. All right. So make sure that you play a role into dictating, because that is your right, our right as a consumer. Right. I hope you had fun, and I hope you have learned a thing or two. And please make sure that you participate in the contest. I am looking forward to see all your entries. Yeah. If you have any questions, you can you can always WhatsApp us, and then we will address them. Yeah. Otherwise, then make sure you submit your entry by the 20th of November. All right. I will see you next week. My name is Joey, and I will take this opportunity to thank the Food Purveyor, yeah, for sponsoring and also hosting this Facebook Live. We are also doing this for on their Facebook page as well. If, let's say, you need to check out Village Grocer as well as Ben's Independent Grocer, so please make sure you log into their Facebook page, yeah, because they have also put in a lot of effort into educating their members on how to do recycling. So make sure you check them out. All right. So I'll see you next week, same time. Till then, happy weekend. All right. Bye.